So if that has to change, I think somewhere from an agency side, from a client side, you have to have one person looking at media in totality. But I think it's a great medium, great opportunity. It will take time. Now 3G is being launched in a big way. So I think it has got a bright future. And we at NDTV definitely are looking at it as a serious revenue stream, if not in the near future, but in the long run.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Raj. I think Raj has passed on a challenge to everyone here with each of his comments, infrastructure, user experience on the device, agencies' way of looking at it, and how publishers should look at it as well. So I think Imtiaz, that's a great story.
I think the users device is growing. We are just at 40% penetration, 400 million customers around. What's good about it is there's a digital divide in India, and I think all of us have seen the data point. One of the data points that I just saw, the TRA numbers, is that we might have 400 million customers and maybe 120 million of them having GPRS enabled handsets. You know what I mean? Handsets which, through which you can go on the internet. But actually mobile internet users would be 1/4 of that figure. Okay, and that's what saves it. We have roughly less than 30 million customers who are using mobile to go on the internet. So that's really, really small.
Is that just on Airtel or you're talking about across categories?
No, I'm talking about across categories. Right? Actual users going on the internet would not be more than 30 million in the country. Yes, I mean, if you look at it, again, compared to the overall still in India, I think we've got roughly around 5 to 6% internet penetration in India. So compared to that, it's really good. Right? And I think there's a huge opportunity coming in there. Why hasn't it picked up? Yeah, but the point is that, why hasn't it picked up? Let me just share a couple of concerns or a couple of reasons why mobile internet in India has not picked up. While there are only 6.5 or 7 million broadband connections in India and 6.5 dial-up lines, so there is big opportunity. But for mobile to pick up, the number one thing, and I somehow felt that you said that you're going to put it on me, the infrastructure. I think the infrastructure is, we are ready, but if you look at the infrastructure today, there is hardly any spectrum left, right? This is a very scarce resource. Today, with the kind of spectrum that we have, we need to prioritize between a voice and a data. And at 7 p.m. or 8 p.m., if you're seeing a constraint in making a voice call, where will we allow the data to take precedence? I'm sure you yourself would not like it if your voice call breaks. You would not give a preference to going on the internet. So that's coming to the spectrum point. I think the second reason why a mobile internet is also not picking up is a very bad user experience. And that's something that I would look forward to hearing from all of you in the room here, is that one is the UI of the handset itself. Right? I don't think we are making handsets, or the handsets coming to India are not really internet savvy handsets. Then moving on to the content part also. I think there's hardly any standardization of content that's coming on the mobile. All the mobile content that we see of internet or what you see on the web, we're not creating or we have still not created content for the small screen. The big screen and the small screen is different, and I think it's important that the team sitting here looks at it. I think the next point is also that, which is a concern, is I think is about care. I mean customer care. One of the key challenges for a telco is that whenever a consumer experience is bad, he immediately turns up to call a telco, right? Because that's the only number that he knows, and that's a big challenge. In terms of what we believe are important areas to work, of course we're going to work with the government, and we are going to be 3G ready, and I'm sure this is going to fly. The next is about creating an ecosystem for advertising. To the other topic that we're going to talk about is advertising, and let me just say it's so small right now, but we believe it's got a big potential. But I think we need an ecosystem. I personally have directly met levers and PNGs of the world. What's saddening is that the brand manager does not even look at mobile as a medium to communicate. What worse is that even media buyers or sellers who go and meet the brand managers don't talk mobile as a media. So I think that we are far away here in terms of capability to start monetizing this opportunity. In terms of mobile internet, will it grow? Of course it will grow. For just to give you an idea, value-added services in India is roughly around 10% of the total telco revenue. The same in a lot of in other parts of the world is roughly around 20-25%. And we believe that the only way we can grow to 20% is by the data revenues. But the current mobile internet revenues would constitute to roughly around 2% of the total telco revenue. So that's too small, right? So I think it's high time that this becomes big and of course will get a lot of focus. But as I saw, I was so happy to see somebody using money control in a rural world. We believe, and we strongly believe, that the small screen is where consumers will experience, or Indian consumers will experience internet in the country. Yeah, and look forward to more questions. Thanks.
Great. Thanks, Imtiaz. And
I think that should be okay.
Nirvik, your thoughts?
Sure. I think in a world of where media is fragmenting even sooner and faster than ever before, I actually personally believe that there is a huge opportunity for the mobile internet space. And I think if you pull back for 30 seconds and just think about it as the third screen in somebody's life. Till 10 years back, people only had one screen, which was the television set. And 10 years back, I'm sure if you were at a conference sitting like this, you wouldn't be discussing whether there is possibility of the internet monetizing itself, and will the world move from the first screen to the second screen. Well, the world has moved to the second screen, and I think the world is ready to move to the third screen, and the third screen is really the mobile device. There's clearly a growing population in the world of kids today, teenagers, in Western parts of the world, that don't receive any messaging through the first screen. They don't put on television sets. They've was forgotten to read the newspaper about 10 years back, right? They get everything through their second screen, which is the computer. And I believe that, as somebody referred to this earlier, I think in countries like India and China, technology telescopes time. And often, therefore, you skip a whole generation. Now, it is not, therefore, vastly in the world of fantasy and fiction that 10 years from now, people will actually forget the second screen and move to the third screen and move fairly rapidly there. If you think about the mobile internet as another delivery mechanism, to Raj's point, and not some specialist thing, at the end of the day, you are targeting consumers to get across a message. And if you think of this as one more pipe that you will use to get a consumer, the only difference is this is a pipe where you know the consumer by name, you can target the consumer by location, and you know the consumer's preference. I don't think the other two screens, or historically in the past, has there been a medium as powerful as this going forward. Because you can target by age, you can target by name, you can target by gender, and you can target by location. A television set doesn't allow you to do that. Newspaper does it in a particular manner, but all the other mediums, you can tick off one or two of those boxes. You can't tick off all the boxes. And this is probably the only place where you can put off all the boxes. I think it's fair to say that in the last 4 or 5 years, we've seen really the boom in the internet space when it comes to advertising. But that's because there are new words that are being created. In the old days, you created episodes for television. You now create web episodes. You create advertising or you create programming content only for the web. And we haven't done that in this space as yet. But I keep going back to saying that if you have great consumer insight and you create the right content in the right context, this is a medium that allows you to deliver messaging in the right context, i.e., at what time, where is the person at that point more favorable in receiving a message. If you're standing outside a restaurant and you get a message exactly at that point in time, a coupon that entitles you 20% off, it's the right context. No other medium, historically that I know, can deliver something like that.